The steel components for the new Bay Bridge are being fabricated 6,200 miles from San Francisco in Shanghai, China, on the island of Chongqing at the ZPMC plant, where they've been fabricating steel for the Bay Bridge for the past 4 years. And in just a few days, if you take a look on the other side of where I'm standing right now, the ship is about to go out with more parts for the Bay Bridge. It's the 7th shipment. There'll be 2 more, one in May, one in July, as they work towards finishing the brand new Bay Bridge.
Hello. I guess I'm just going to give a little introduction of my colleagues from ABF and ZPMC. This is our normal daily meeting. We've been working on the tower for over 3 years now, and it's just coming to a close. This is going to be actually our last meeting, so you guys can see our send-off. We're all pretty happy, pretty proud of what we've done so far. So I'm going to start on my right. This is Jeff. Jeff's been on the project. He's from Hong Kong. He's our lead inspector for the tower shops. He's been here for, what, about 3 years now, yeah. So he's been here from the start on the tower, and he's going to see it off now. Soon also has been here for about the same amount of time on the project as I have. Soon's our engineer. He's been handling a lot of the RFIs, a lot of the engineering issues, as well as tracking the drawings and doing a lot of coordination between the various groups at ZPMC and us here at ABF. Richard's had the same kind of role. He's been managing the schedule for us. He's also been a liaison with ZPMC and has helped out quite a bit. Mr. Yang from ZPMC is the fabrication lead in the tower shops. Mr. Yang over here has also been on the project from the very beginning, and he works for Mr. Ding Zishui. Mr. Ding is I guess the equivalent of a project manager for ZPMC for the whole job. Mr. Ding works both OBG and tower, and he's the guy who distributes all the work and makes sure every shop that's working on the project is busy and is working efficiently. And then Ms. Liu and Mr. Wu are from the ZPMC's technical department. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Some of the smaller diaphragms and stuff were made off in the smaller shops, but everything eventually came in here and was finally put together here.
How many bays did you have to make?
These 2 bays were new for this project, as well as basically there was a line here 4 years ago where their property ended right around the end of this paint shop that you see over here, and everything this side is all new, as well as a bunch of new shops to the north this way. Everything the OBG's in is also new. There's an outrageous amount of new shops.
If you were talking football fields, how many fields would you have?
There's probably, for our project alone, there's probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 new football fields worth of shops, and there's twice that many that they have other work in. This is the tower grillage, lift 5, tower grillage. This is the top piece. Eventually the tower saddle, which is made in Japan, will get set on top of it, and the 2 main cables of the bridge will ride over the top, and all the vertical load essentially is gonna come through this piece and finally down into the foundation of the bridge. I'm Rosamilia. I'm assistant project manager for the fabrication here at ZPMC. I've been working on the SFO Bay Bridge fabrication portion of the project for a little bit over 4 years now, and we're finally coming to the close of the tower fabrication.
How many bridges do you think your company has built?
Wow, it's dozens, if not hundreds.
And how many have you built? How many have you been involved?
I've been involved in, this is my first new bridge project. Up until this point, I'd done maybe 7 or 8 different retrofit projects in New York City, New Jersey, and also the Richmond-San Rafael Bridge in California. Here we see a piece of San Francisco Bay Bridge bike path. Actually, Sean Wichman and I, who you guys will talk to later, were the first people to ride our bikes across the San Francisco Bay Bridge bike path. You'll see up here we've got a trial assembly. As we build the bike paths,
we put them in a trial assembly to make sure everything is lined up properly, and it got to about 40 meters long, and Sean and I decided that, you know, we should make history, and we stole some bikes from outside, and we're the first person to ride across the bridge. We actually developed a little bit of a crowd. They didn't understand what we were doing. I'm not sure that they know exactly what they're building, but they were definitely amused at the foreigners riding their bikes across the steel. I grew up in North Jersey. I went to high school at Hanover Park in East Hanover and Florham Park together, and I went to college in Lehigh University in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania.
So you grew up in steel country?
Well, I went to school in steel country anyway.
Yeah. So did you want to become an engineer?
Yeah, I wasn't sure my freshman year, but eventually, after having a few engineering courses, I also took some other arts courses, but I decided I was most interested in engineering.
Why?
I guess I had a knack for it, and I had always been involved in construction in some way. My father was a fireman, and normally firemen do some trade work. He was a carpenter on the side, and so we would be involved in renovating the house, doing work. His friends would come over, so I'd always been hands-on, and so it seemed like an interesting career path to go into engineering and eventually construction.
You never thought about being a firefighter, huh?
I did, but that wasn't going to happen. We're going out to the heavy-duty dock. This is where we load our ships. This is also where the tower trial assembly took place. This is where we tipped up the shafts to vertical and assembled them together on the heavy-duty platform. Right now we're near the hull, near the bridge of Zenoir 18, which is the boat that's going to take over the 7th shipment of permanent material. We've got 11 east and west all the way in the back. You can see the 2 cross beams in front of it. There's a pile of barrier. We've got almost 400 barriers, and you could see stacks of bike path. And as you come closer to us, you've got the 4 shafts of lift 4, and the facades and struts for them all lined up. You know, we had our saddles made in Japan. We had our bearings made in Korea by JSW in Japan, Hochang in Korea. We've had steel made in Taiwan. We've had portions of the cable were made here in Shanghai Pujiang Cable. In England, the sockets for the suspenders are made. Some other organizations, of course, in the Bay Area, like Dutra, working on the foundation work and certified coatings for the painting. I mean, the list goes on and on.
And Canada?
And Canada, of course, doing the detailing work. And Canada and Florida, Candraft Tensor, performing the detailing work for us.
In the midst of dating and working all those hours, I understand you're still going to school too, trying to get your...
Yeah, actually Rutgers University from New Jersey, back my hometown, has a business school in Shanghai, Beijing, and Singapore. And so I actually just last night had a final for my law and ethics course.
And how'd you do?
I'm pretty sure I got an A.